All right, let's finally clear up the confusion with do and does. I promise, it's way easier than you think. So you ever just freeze up, not knowing which one to use? Yeah, you're not alone. It's super common.
See, in Portuguese, you don't need that extra word. And that difference, that's the main reason it gets so tricky. So what's the secret? Well, it's all about these things called auxiliary verbs. They're a huge deal in English.
Think of them as helper verbs. And for the simple present, our helpers are do and does for questions and negatives. But here's the good news. There's one simple golden rule for this. Let's take a look. Okay, here it is. Use do with I, you, we, and they. And you use does with he, she, and it. That's it.
All right, enough talk, let's practice. First up, asking questions the right way.
A really common mistake is to just translate it directly. But in English, this just doesn't work. It's wrong.
You've got to use the helper verb. And notice how like doesn't have an S anymore? It jumped over to does. For questions, the order is key. The helper verb do or does always goes before the subject.
This is a perfect example. That first do is the helper, and the second do is the main action verb. So what about short answers? Super easy. You just use that same helper verb again. It sounds really natural. The trick is just to match the helper from the question. If they ask with do, you answer with do. Simple. Okay, questions are down. Now let's tackle negative sentences. You'll see it's pretty much the same idea. The formula is always the same. First the subject, then the helper plus not, and then the main verb. Just a tip, people almost always use the short forms, so use don't and doesn't to sound more natural. Here are a couple of examples with don't. You can see the pattern. Subject, don't, and then the main verb. And look, it's the exact same pattern with doesn't for he, she, and it. It's really that consistent. The main thing to remember is that this isn't hard. It's just different. It's a new way of building sentences. My advice, just practice. The more you use it, the more automatic it'll become. You'll totally get there. Okay, so now that do and does are sorted, what's the next English rule that always trips you up? Let me know.